And this is CBC Online, and you're with Alumni Director Rob Stagenborg. We do a podcast called Alumni Focus, and we like to talk to movers and shakers in the world of CBC alumni. And certainly, someone I'm really excited to have on is Brian Haenchen, class of 2009. Brian, welcome back to CBC. We'll get to where you are right now, but how you doing? Welcome back.
I'm good. I'm good. It's good to be here with you, Rob. It's good talking to you again. It's been too long.
Long time now. So Brian, recently, Brian's located up in South Dakota, and he works for the Argus Leader, the South Dakota Argus Leader newspaper, and that's located in what part of South Dakota?
Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So we're kind of in the southeast portion of the state. We're on the opposite side from Mount Rushmore and the Black Hills and everything, the touristy spots in South Dakota.
And you cover high school athletics among other, the university as well. And you've really kind of developed a niche, and so much to the point where you were named the Journalist of the Year, Sportswriter of the Year, and was a great honor. We just got the word the other day, and I want to first of all congratulate you and tell you we're very proud of you. But what an awesome honor!
Yeah, no, I appreciate the kind words, and yeah, it's really cool. I've liked South Dakota and being up here a lot more than I think I ever would have, honestly. But it's such a unique setting. It's the people here really are passionate about high school sports and stuff, and there's so many cool stories, especially as you get out into some of the more rural communities that maybe you don't think of initially when you move up here. But just the way that everybody rallies around each other and the sense of community is really unique. And as I've gotten to know people up here and developed some connections with kids and coaches and whatnot, it started to feel a little bit more like home, and that's due in large part to the people, and it's just awesome folk up here.
And again, you did a series, was an award-winning series on how basketball has affected the social life on the reservations up there. You want to talk a little about that piece? That's obviously something that's very topical.
Yeah, a few summers ago, I went out with a colleague to the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. And for those who don't know, the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation is one of the most impoverished areas in the United States. And one of the things that keeps folks going and keeps the kids in line and helps deal with some of the mental health issues that go on up there is basketball. And so I did a series exploring the role of not only basketball for those kids, but also some people who are making a difference within their community on the reservation. And it introduced me to a kid named Alejandro Rayma, who works on his family farm at 5 a.m, and then he's at the high school helping with the garden and teaching kids Lakota, the language. And then he's running the youth basketball camps, people like that. And then some of the adults too, within the school, who are working to help keep kids, in line and give them structure in life. And they provide, for some that parent figure type of thing. And it's just really cool as you get in there and see some of the efforts that are underway to help make life better for people living in a tough situation over there, and the amount of care that there is for the young people there. And obviously the pandemic has changed things, and I've stayed up with people over there and some of the different impact that it's had through the pandemic, but it still shines through. Just everybody cares so much about those kids and giving them a fair shot. And it's been really cool to see that.
So, you go from CBC, you went to college here in town and went over to Mizzou and worked at some couple of local radio stations here, and you end up in South Dakota. How does a guy from St. Louis end up in South Dakota? And do you ever kind of say, how did I end up here?
Ask that question every day during the winter. No, so what happens is with journalism, you throw out applications and you cast as wide of a net as you can. At least that's the approach that I took. And during the summer, about 5 years ago, I got a call from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Didn't know that I didn't remember applying for the job, honestly. And during the first initial phone interview, they asked if I'd ever been to Sioux Falls, and I said no, but I've been to Mount Rushmore. And that's when she informed me that that's on the other side of the state, which led to a fun couple second, awkward silence as I realized that I probably just blew my only chance getting the job up here. But things worked out that I got the job up here, and here I am.
How long have you been up there now?
Been over 5 years now.
Oh.
Yeah, it's longer than I have expected, but they've treated me really well up here. And like I said, it's a lot more fulfilling job, covering sports up here than I would have expected, and it's been a cool experience.
I mean, you're a guy, you grew up here in the city, St. Louis, all kinds of sports going on in college and obviously high school. And then you end up in South Dakota. I mean, it seems kind of odd, but you've really kind of made it your home, and you've approached it with a great attitude, and you've done very well.
I joke that when I moved up here, I set the bar really low, almost too low. So when you come up here and you get to living and seeing the town, that it exceeds those expectations. But it's honestly an ideal spot to sort of start out in and get my feet wet in the industry. In terms of working for a newspaper, and it's been great. And again, I always go back to it, but just the community and some of the stories that we've been able to tell here has really made it a fulfilling and great experience.
It's kind of interesting. I went kind of in preparation. I went to the old yearbook and was kind of looking for some old pictures of you. And to be honest with you, there aren't a lot of pictures because if I remember, you were always taking the pictures. You were on the yearbook staff, the newspaper staff. So you were really a journalist even here in high school. And boy, I remember, you really would hold the coach's feet to the fire and you really got that bug for journalism here at CBC.
Yeah, the Turret, which I've been told isn't a thing anymore, but the old school newspaper, I remember running that with Mr. Peterson, and my classmates, and yeah, that was pretty awesome.
But you'd always loved sports, and obviously, sports
Mhm.
was something that was very near and dear to you. I know even in high school, you're very active in talking about it and being involved with it. Now that you're on the other side, a member of the media, the institutionalized media, how is sports for you now? Do you see it from a different angle?
A little bit. It's kind of a carryover from just building upon lessons that I learned in high school. I remember Mr. Peterson. One of the things that he told me was, you want to write stories that a grandma or their kids' parents want to hang on their refrigerator. You want to get those names in there, and that's something that I've always carried with me, especially covering high school sports. And just this means a lot to the kids. That's the way that I've always approached it. And it's for some of them, this is the highest level of sports that they're going to compete at, or the most attention that they're going to get during their athletic career. So you want to make the most of it for them and their families. But yeah, it's a bit different being here at the professional level. A little bit more cutthroat, a little bit more go 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 than it was maybe in high school. But certainly a lot of lessons to build from during my time at CB.
And and when the news came out about you getting this award, we got several comments from some of your classmates. Hey, I want to make sure you saw the word. So obviously, you made some great friendships, and you still carry on today. Big Red Kevin Walsh was the first to contact me to make sure we got the word. So obviously, your classmates are very proud of you. Do you still keep in contact with the guys?
Yeah. Kevin actually texted me earlier today, so we've been texting back and forth. But yeah, I keep in touch with everybody. When I was back at home for Christmas a few weeks ago, I swung by the high school and hung out. I know Nate Latch from our time covering the St. Louis Blues together, so we stay in touch. But yeah, do my best, as we all can, to stay in touch with one another, keep up, hung out with some guys that I graduated with when I was back home too. So it's been pretty awesome.
What are some of your favorite CBC memories when you were a student?
Obviously,
Gotta hear it.
everybody has some Ray Barr stories, of him laying down the law. But no, yeah, to single out one in particular is difficult. I remember Nelly at our graduation and Nick Condon and I going up and discussing asking Nelly to sign our diplomas. So that was that was a fun time. But no, there's so many good memories, and covering the hockey team too in particular. That was a really good time. I love covering John Jost, Randy Staub, Nick Carousel, all the guys. It's really cool. And then I covered them a little bit too after I got out of CBC as well, because it's such a great group of guys, and that's kind of unique to hockey. But yeah, they're covering those state championship games, being there for the state hockey is definitely a big fond memories for me too.
Well, I definitely like to tell people it's the great American success story. A kid from St. Louis, runs off to the great state of South Dakota and hits it big and becomes the toast of the town. So again, we're very proud of you, Brian, and we obviously, want to obviously encourage you to keep working hard and keep moving towards your goals. But anything else you want to say to the CBC community? Any the students who might want to pursue this sort of career?
Yeah, if with journalism, and this is sort of doom and gloom that you get from everybody, but it's true. It's one of those fields that you need to make sure you're really committed to before you get into it, because it's a grind, and it's a lot of work. It is. It's a lot of long hours, and there's not much in the way of job stability. The pay is not the best, but if you really love it and you're passionate about it and you care about the community that you're covering, that'll get you a long ways, and it'll help you get through a lot of that stuff. And that's honestly what's powered me through some of the difficulties. I mean, there's been layoffs in my newspaper every single year since I've been here, and my role has changed essentially every single year that I've been here, moving from the desk to part-time reporter to full-time reporter to getting another beat on top of the full-time reporter job. So you got to be willing willing to roll with the punches, and it's not easy. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to tell you how miserable it's going to be, and they're not wrong. There are going to be times when you're miserable, but if you love it enough, you get through it. It's not something that you get into for the money. I know that people sometimes say that. I don't know if they're serious. I can't imagine that they are, but it's something that you get into because you love what you're doing and you care about what you're doing. And yeah, that's just the biggest thing is make sure you like to do it. And yeah, and if anybody ever has any questions about it, young kids or whatever, please never hesitate to reach out, because to me or anybody, because we're all very, very excited and happy to help out any young person that's looking to get in the field.
And you have a Twitter account? People can follow you on Twitter?
Yeah, if you're wanting to stay up on high school sports in South Dakota and USD athletics, Brian_Haenchen, Haenchen. I'm on there. I'm Hank with the little Korean flag on the end of it. That's me.
That sounds great. Well, again, Brian, we're very proud of you. We're very happy for you to spend some time with us in the community here. Again, obviously keep pushing for the goals that you set for yourself, and we'll definitely catch up with you next time. I'm going to put you on pause and hold you over for a moment.